Hello student, welcome in today's video. Today we are going to learn about the blood vessels, which are the main part of a vascular system. That our transport system or circulatory system contain the main organs such as heart, lungs, and others are main blood vessels. Blood vessels are the minute tube or pipe-like structure. They are the channels through which the transportatory or circulatory fluid is flow within the body. आपल्या शरीरात हार्ट एक टेम्पररी पंपिंग अँड स्टोरेज ऑर्गन आहे. लंग्स हे ऑक्सिजनेशनचं ऑर्गन आहे, जिथं ब्लड प्युरिफाय होतं, जिथं एक्सचेंज ऑफ गॅसेस होतात, ऑक्सिजन शरीरात घेतला जातो आणि कार्बन डायऑक्साईड नाकाद्वारे बाहेर सोडला जातो. बट याच्या व्यतिरिक्त ट्रान्सपोर्ट किंवा सर्क्युलेटरी सिस्टीमचे महत्त्वाचे भाग आहेत ब्लड वेसल्स, जे आज आपल्याला बघायचे आहेत. देर आर 3 मेन टाइप्स ऑफ ब्लड वेसल्स दॅट आर द आर्टरी, वेन and the capillaries. And today we are going to learn about these 3 blood vessels. Blood vessels, these are the minute channels, minute tube-like structure which are present throughout the body from the each and every organ towards the heart, towards the lungs, and from the lungs, heart towards the each part of the body. And their main function is to carry blood from tissue to heart and from heart to tissue. Vice versa. त्यांचं महत्त्वाचं काम काय की शरीरातलं ब्लड एका जागून दुसरीकडे ट्रान्सपोर्ट करणं, सर्क्युलेट करणं. इट इज द मेन फंक्शन ऑफ ब्लड वेसल्स. अँड देर आर 3 main types of blood vessels in the human beings, that is the artery, vein and capillaries. Refer that diagram, that is the TS of artery, and TS of artery and TS of vein have nothing is different, but it is the space inside that artery or vein, that is the lumen. It is the point of differentiation. फक्त तेवढाच फरक आहे की ल्युमेन मोठी असते वेनची, आर्टरीची खूप लहान असते. देन लेट अस लर्न अबाउट द आर्टरी. व्हॉट इज द आर्टरी? दीज आर द कॉमन ब्लड वेसल्स इन द बॉडी विच आर कॅरी ब्लड अवे फ्रॉम हार्ट. आपण डायरेक्शनच्या बाबतीतल्या व्याख्या बघूयात की दीज आर ब्लड वेसल. आर्टरीज काय? दीज आर ब्लड वेसल्स विच कॅरीज ब्लड अवे फ्रॉम हार्ट. हृदयाकडून रक्ताला दूर नेणाऱ्या रक्तवाहिन्या, त्यांना आपण काय म्हणू? आर्टरी म्हणू. देन व्हॉट इज अबाउट द करोनरी आर्टरी? इट इज द ब्लड वेसल्स विच कॅरीज ब्लड, ऑक्सिजनेटेड ब्लड फ्रॉम द सिस्टमॅटिक aortic ब्रांचेस टुवर्ड्स द हार्ट. इट इज ओनली द एक्सेप्शन. काय बघितलं आपण? आर्टरीज आर द ब्लड वेसल्स विच कॅरी ब्लड अवे फ्रॉम द हार्ट, जस्ट लाईक अ systematic aorta. It carries oxygenated blood away from the heart. Second one, pulmonary artery. It carries blood, deoxygenated blood away from heart towards the lungs. Carotid artery. It carries blood away from the heart towards the nervous system, head and brain. That means arteries are the blood vessels which carries blood away from the heart. Exception is a coronary artery which carry blood towards the heart. It supply oxygenated blood towards the heart. And what is the content of artery? Generally it contain the oxygenated blood because they have to supply the blood away from the heart. They are originated from the heart itself. But pulmonary artery originated from the right ventricle, but it carries the deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. It is the exception. आर्टरीच्या 2 डेफिनेशन आपल्याला बघता येईल, बट मेन डेफिनेशन काय असेल? दॅट these are the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart. Exception is coronary artery that carry blood towards the heart. It carry, it transport, it supply the oxygenated blood to the heart. And artery mostly carries the oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. It carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to the lungs. ठीक है? Then arteries having the thick wall in nature. They are having more thick wall. Then they are deeply situated in the body. शरीरात थोड्याशा त्या खोलवर रुतलेल्या असतात. Except the radial artery, femoral artery. That radial artery situated in the radius ulna bone. They are somewhat superficially placed other than the other arteries. Then the femoral artery, they are situated in the thigh region, humerus bone. Therefore, the arteries, they are situated deeply in the body. They do not superficially placed. Then arteries, they are the bigger artery, it is called as aorta, just like systematic aorta, which is originated from the heart, and the artery when having the big breadth, that diameter it is more, then it is called as aorta. Aorta divided into arteries, arteries divided into arterioles, and arteriole ends into the capillaries of the organs. Capillaries in the tissues. एखाद्या ऑर्गनला टिश्यूला जे काय कॅपिलरी नेटवर्क असतं तिथं आर्टरीज येऊन एंड होतात. देन आर्टरीज हॅव्हिंग द ब्लड फ्लो विथ द हाय ब्लड प्रेशर. They are having the thicker wall. Therefore, blood flow within the artery having the high blood pressure, having the high blood volume, and blood flow it is active. ब्लड फ्लो कसा असतो आर्टरीमध्ये? ॲक्टिव्ह असतो, कारण तिथून ब्लड फ्लो कसा वाहत असतो? हाय प्रेशरनी वाहत असतो. अँड आर्टरीज डू नॉट हॅव्हिंग द ब्लड वेल्व्स. दे डू नॉट हॅव्हिंग द वॉल्व्स. वेल्व्स म्हणतो आपण त्यांना. वेल्व्सचं काम काय असतं? टू प्रिव्हेंट द बॅकवर्ड फ्लो ऑफ ब्लड. बट आर्टरीला बॅकवर्ड फ्लो प्रिव्हेंट नाही करायचा आहे. आर्टरीला सतत ब्लड फ्लो करायचं आहे आणि ऑर्गन्सला प्रोव्हाइड करायचे. वेल्व्स असतील तर ऑब्स्टॅकल्स येतात त्या ट्रान्सपोर्टेशनमध्ये किंवा सर्क्युलेशनमध्ये. That arteries do not having the valves and blood flow within the artery with the high blood pressure. Arteries having the active blood pressure and active blood flow, active blood volume. The TS of artery shows the following parts. See that, refer that diagram. The external layer, artery is having the three layers. When we take the TS of artery is showing the three layers. First, tunica externa or tunica adventitia. And that is made up of a fibrous tissue, that is the collagen fiber, which is rough and tough in nature. The second most layer, that is called as a tunica media, and tunica media it is most thicker in the artery. That tunica media it is having made up of tunica media it is made up of the generally smooth muscles and the elastic fiber. It is made up of smooth muscles and elastic fiber. Therefore, it is stretchable, elastic in nature. Then, the third one, tunica intima or tunica interna. TS of artery shows the three layers. Tunica externa or tunica adventitia made up of collagen fiber, fibrous in nature, rough in nature. Second one, tunica media, which is a thicker one. It is made up of smooth and elastic fibric muscles. Then, third one, that is the tunica interna, which is made up of flat endothelial cells. See the lumen of artery, the cavity inside the intima. Tunica interna or tunica intima, सगळ्यात आतल्या लेयरच्या मध्ये जी कॅव्हिटी आहे, the cavity inside the most internal layer of the artery, that is called as a lumen. And lumen in case of artery it is very small, having a small breadth. And that is the reason behind the high blood flow in the artery with the high blood pressure. आर्टरी मधून ब्लड वाहताना हाय ब्लड प्रेशरनी का वाहतं? तर त्याची ल्युमेन कशी आहे? छोटी आहे. इफ देर इज अ नॅरोअर पाथ in the any tube like structure, it exert more pressure on the walls of that tube. If artery is having the small cavities inside their layers, then blood flow within that short space, narrower space, exert more blood pressure on the walls. Then therefore that obstacles or any cholesterol thickening, it is found only in the arteries. Then that innermost layer, lumen, having the angular arrangement of a cells, that is called as the tessellation, and tessellation provide the efficient blood flow in the artery. Tessellation means when the polygonal cells, they are arranged themselves in a very equal manner, that is called tessellation. And tessellation in the artery, that is the innermost layer, polygonal cells of the innermost layer, endothelial cells of the innermost layer arrange themselves very efficiently, that is called tessellation. And tessellation provides the efficient blood flow in the artery. That is about the artery, and artery having the smaller lumen, thick tunica media. Thick tunica media, it is the characteristic feature of TS of artery. Okay, this is about the artery. Next, what is about the vein? Veins are somewhat thick, thin walled as compared to the artery, but they are thick walled, and they are carry blood towards the heart. These are blood vessels carries blood towards the heart. बघा तुम्ही सगळ्यात मोठ्या वेन्सला काय म्हणू, वेना केवाज. Capillaries, they are unite to form the venules. Venules unite to form the vein. Vein unite to form the vena cava. That, remember that superior vena cava collect the impure blood from the upper part of the body and pour it into right atrium. Inferior vena cava carries the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body and pour it into right atrium. And coronary vein, it carries the impure blood from the heart itself and pour into right atrium. The veins, they are carry blood towards the heart, and that they are mostly carrying the deoxygenated blood, except the pulmonary veins. From the lungs they carry oxygenated blood to left atrium. बघा याची व्याख्या काय होते वेनची, they carry blood towards the heart. Coronary vein also carry blood towards the heart, towards right atrium. Inferior vena cava, superior vena cava carry blood also towards the heart. That they carry mostly deoxygenated blood, but 4 pulmonary vein, 2 from the right lung, 2 from the left lung, they carry oxygenated blood from the lungs towards the heart, that is to the left atrium, and they carry oxygenated blood. Exception is there. Then they are originated as a capillary. They form the smallest blood vessel called venules. Venules to form the big vein, and veins, they are unite to form the bigger vein, that is called as the biggest vena cavas. And suppose that vein always starts as a capillary, but when a vein, VEIN, when a vein start as a capillaries and it ends in a tissues in the any intermediate organ, it is called as a portal vein. And we are having the 2 main portal vein system, that is one of the hepatic portal vein system and second one is the renal portal vein system. Portal vein एक विशिष्ट प्रकारची वेन असते जी कॅपिलरी पासून तो सुरू होते, पण ती पुन्हा कॅपिलरीज मध्ये टिश्यू मध्ये एंड होते कुठल्याही एखाद्या इंटरमिडिएट ऑर्गन मध्ये. Just like a hepatic portal vein which is connected to the liver, but it is originated from the capillaries of the intestine, large, small intestine, then the pancreas one, gallbladder one, and it carries blood towards the capillaries of the liver. Therefore, when a vein, it is starts as a capillaries and ends in a capillaries of a tissues in any intermediate organ, it is called as a portal vein. There are 2 many portal veins are there, but 2 main portal systems are there. One is a renal portal system related with kidney, another is hepatic portal vein system related to the liver. All intestine, small, large intestine, then the pancreas, it carries the blood towards the liver by the hepatic portal vein system. Then veins are having thin walled. Veins are again shows these 3 layers, that is tunica externa made up of collagen fiber, tunica media, that is middle layer, it is made up of the smooth muscles and elastic fiber, and third one, that is the tunica interna or tunica intima, made up of a single layer of flat endothelial cells. But TS of vein shows the somewhat thin tunica media. Therefore, the lumen inside the TS of vein, it is a bigger one. फक्त फरक एवढा आहे. The only difference in between TS of artery and TS of vein is TS of vein shows the big lumen, big breadth lumen, and TS of artery shows the small lumen. Due to small lumen, tunica media and TS of artery it is thicker, and due to a big lumen, due to a broader lumen, TS of vein shows the tunica media thinner in nature. That TS of vein also shows these 3 layers: tunica adventitia made up of collagen fiber, tunica media made up of smooth muscles and elastic fiber, and it is thinner in TS of vein, and tunica interna made up of a thin endothelial cells, and the lumen, it shows the big breadth, or it is broader in case of TS of vein. In the vein, the blood flow, it is passive. In vein, blood flow with the low blood pressure. The blood volume, it is smaller or lesser than TS of artery. Then the pressure inside the TS of vein, the pressure inside the vein of blood, it is very low. That the vein having the valves, vein मध्ये काय असतात, valves असतात to prevent the backward flow of blood, and it avoid the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the organs. Organs मध्ये oxygenated आणि deoxygenated blood चं mixing avoid करतात valves. They are present only in the veins, they do not present in the arteries. Then that they are start at the capillaries and they are joined to form the venules, venules joined to form the veins, veins joined to form the vena cavas. That veins are the thick wall, they carries blood towards the heart, and they mainly carries the deoxygenated blood, except the pulmonary veins which is start from the lungs and they provide the oxygenated blood to the left atrium. Then these are the veins, main veins are there, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Then the 4 pulmonary veins are there. Okay? Then coronary vein it is carry the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the right atrium. These are the main veins. Next, what is about the capillaries? These are the network of minute blood vessels, very thin walled in nature. Blood flow within the capillaries, it is also with the very low speed. Then this is the lumen of capillary, capillary having the very smaller lumen. Then that they are made up of a single layer of a squamous type of epithelium and they are resting on a single basement membrane. Then they are thin walled, they specially designed for the exchange of material, and they having a smaller endothelial pores, they are called as a fenestrae. Fenestra or fenestry means the smaller pores, endothelial pores in the inner layer, and that pores, through that pores WBC can squeeze out themselves in the main blood vessels, which is called as a diapedesis. Capillaries having the small endothelial pores called as a fenestra or fenestry, through which the WBCs can squeeze out themselves, and that process is called as a diapedesis. Then blood flow within the capillaries with the very high blood pressure, because they are very minute, their breadth is a smaller, then their width is a smaller, that they are especially elastic in nature and they are specially designed for the diffusion of a material, osmosis of a material. Okay? This is about the blood vessels, that is the artery, vein and the capillaries. Again we will revise that total points that learned by us. Arteries, veins and the capillaries. That arteries are the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart, except coronary artery that carry blood towards the heart. They provide the oxygenated blood to the heart. Then they carry always the oxygenated blood, except pulmonary artery, pulmonary trunk, which carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to the lungs. Then they ends into arteriole and capillaries to the organ, each and every organ. Then they are having the thicker wall, blood flow within the artery, it is with the fast speed. Blood volume, it is higher, blood pressure inside the artery is higher. They do not having the valves, they are superficial, they do not place superficial, they deeply situated in the body, except the radial and femoral artery. Then veins, they are superficially placed in the body. The injectiles, especially antibiotic injectiles or any saline, that is the NaCl or dextrose solution, given to the veins only, because it is just nearer to the heart and they supply all the solutions to the each and every part of the body very easily, very efficiently, in very less time. Then they are thick walled as compared to capillaries, but as compared to artery they are thin walled. They carry blood towards the heart. Then they carry deoxygenated blood, except the 4 pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood from lungs to the left atrium. Then capillary joined to form venules, venules joined to form vein, vein joined to form the vena cavas. Except the portal vein, they are initiated as capillary and ends into tissue in the intermediate organ. There are 2 main portal system. Hepatic portal system starts from the intestine, pancreas, ends into liver, and renal portal system, that is towards the kidney. Then they are having low blood pressure, blood flow is low, and the blood flow, it is passive in the veins. Veins having the valves, they are superficially placed. Just like we are feeling the blood pressure in artery, but veins are the superficially placed. Then valves to prevent the backward flow of blood, avoid mixing in between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Then capillaries, they are network of minute blood vessels made up of squamous epithelium resting on single basement membrane, and they are having the endothelial pores called as fenestrae through which WBCs squeeze out themselves, that is called diapedesis. They are elastic in nature. They are selectively and semi-permeable through which osmosis, diffusion takes place and exchange of material takes place. That this is about the arteries, veins and capillaries. Please draw the TS of artery and TS of vein as a homework in your homework notebook, and differentiate between these three blood vessels, which is a part of a circulatory system or that is the transport system. The difference in between the diagram of artery and vein, it is only lumen of artery is small, lumen of artery vein is large. TS of artery shows the tunica media thicker in nature. TS of vein shows the tunica media thinner in nature. Capillary shows the normal lumen and they are the minute blood vessels. This is about the blood vessels, which is the main part of a human circulatory system and transport system. Thank you student for today's video.